Hello and welcome to Three to Thrive. My name is Jesus Avalos and I'm your host, but I'm also a learning and development consultant here at Cal Poly Pomona. This video series is presented by Employee and Organizational Development and Advancement, and our goal is to help you be the best version of yourself both at home and at work. With that in mind, this video series is designed to give you, we call it bite-sized learning. So every episode, you're going to get 3 easy to understand, actionable tips to help you improve in a particular area of your life. So let's get started. This first episode is all about 3 things you need to know to improve your time management. So we all know what it's like. There's so many things to get done and not enough hours in the day to do them. So how do you improve your productivity? Well, you're in luck because I've got 3 tips for you. Tip number 1, track your tasks. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Those who fail to plan, plan to fail." And there's a lot of truth in that statement. So how do we plan? Well, the first step is to know what needs to get done. What I do, and admittedly I am old school, so you don't have to be like me, but I have a paper organizer. And when I get a project, I break it down into individual tasks. And then I put those tasks on the particular day that they need to get done. So not only do I track my tasks, but I also schedule my tasks. But you don't have to be like me. There are lots of tools that you can use now to do this digitally. One of the most common is Google Calendar. So when you want to schedule, you go to the particular day, you create a reminder, and there it is. Another suggestion, though, is not just scheduling your tasks, but also reviewing your tasks, ideally the night before. So I'd suggest you spend the last 15 minutes of your day looking over the next day. There's something just psychologically really powerful about knowing what you've got going on. Not only are your gears turning and you're starting to think about what you're going to do, but you also feel empowered the next morning because there are less surprises waiting for you. So that's the first step. Now, once you've got your things scheduled, what do you do next? Well, that leads me to the second tip, and that is prioritize. Not all tasks are created equal, so it's important to know what to handle first. When you're prioritizing, there are 2 things I'd suggest that you consider. The first thing is urgency, and the second is importance. So urgent tasks are tasks that need to be done immediately. Important tasks are tasks that line up with either your mission, your values, your goals, or your roles. Now, it'd be logical to say you should be spending all of your time on tasks that are both urgent and important. But what happens if you do that is you're just spending all of your time putting out fires. The most effective way is to spend your time on tasks that are important but not urgent. And the way that you do that is by scheduling things out. So when you get a project, you know it's a month out, you schedule your tasks a few weeks in advance, and that way you're handling them on your own time frame, not somebody else's. And that's a recipe for not only efficiency, but also just being more relaxed and less stressed. But you might say, sometimes things fall into my lap, and that is true. So that leads me to the third tip, which is learn to say no, or at least not now. I think it was Peter Drucker who once said, "There's nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all." Just because somebody else has a crisis, it doesn't have to become your crisis. So when it comes to taking on new projects or new tasks, there are 3 things I suggest you consider. The first is, what does your schedule look like? What have you got going on? The second is, what's the scope of the project? How big is it? What needs to be done? But also, when does it need to be done by? And the third thing you want to consider is, what are the ramifications of saying no? Sometimes it's better to say yes depending on who's asking. Now, with that being said, in addition, there's nothing wrong with saying, "I need a little time to decide." Something like, "You know what, I want to make sure that I can do this justice. Can I get back to you by the end of the day and let you know if I can do this for you?" There's nothing wrong with asking for some time. But if you do decide to say no, here are some tips for you. 1, be firm but kind. 2, explain your reasons for declining. 3, give them alternatives, other resources they can go to. And then 4, offer assistance in the future if appropriate. So that's another way for you to make sure that you're saying no, but doing it with some tact. In addition, sometimes it's not no, but maybe it's just not now. Maybe you might say, I can do this for you, but I'm slammed right now. I can get this done by Friday. And what you're going to find is a lot of times people would rather just go to somebody else because they want the path of least resistance or they want it done now. So you still get the benefit of not having to do the project, but you didn't have to say no. So there it is. 3 tips to help you manage your time and be more productive. So we hope you found them useful. More importantly, we hope that you implement them. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you for our next newsletter and the next in this series. Thank you again for your commitment to your improvement. And until we meet next time, keep learning.